Welcome to the Madison Miller podcast. Today is Thursday, June 10th, 2021. Today I'm going to recap yesterday's Stanley Cup, NBA, MLB, and WNBA games, look ahead to today's games in each sport. We will go over the French Open action from yesterday and look ahead to today. We will do a little golf, 2020 NBA ReDraft, 2021 NBA mock draft, latest news and notes, and my best bet of the day. All right, we will start with the Stanley Cup playoffs. There was one game on last night as the New York Islanders are on to the Final Four with the 6-2 victory over the Bruins to win the series in 6 games. The number 3 started the game with 23 saves on 25 shots, Semyon Varlamov. Number 2 started the game with 2 assists, Josh Bailey. And the number 1 started the game with 2 goals, Brock Nelson. All right, one game tonight, 9 o'clock, NBCSN, Avalanche, Golden Knights. Golden Knights with a shot to close it out and be the last representative in the Final Four. I love the momentum that Vegas has right now, and I should have picked the Islanders yesterday. And because of that, and I believe in momentum, I'm going to go with Vegas in the game to win straight up. But I'm undecided if I want to do regulation bet or tie, which means that you're banking on the game going into overtime. I think Colorado's going to give them a run for their money. I'm going to go Vegas in regulation plus 115 to close out the Avalanche and advance to the NHL's Final Four. All right, now we'll do NBA from last night. Like the NHL, one game. And that game featured the Phoenix Suns blowing the doors off the Denver Nuggets, 123-98 to take a 2-0 series lead. Devin Booker, 18 points, 10 boards. Nikola Jokic, 24, 13, and 6. And now, 2 games tonight, 7:30 on ESPN. You have the Nets and the Bucks. My projections for this game: Bucks by 4, total 232.5. Meanwhile, it's 3.5 and 234. The numbers are so similar. But if I had to do it for the sake of the podcast, it's under 234. I think the total's a little high, especially without James Harden. And on ESPN, you have the Clippers and the Jazz. I'm at Utah 7, total 223. Meanwhile, it's 3.5 and 222. I picked Clippers in 6 for the series, but that line is very low. They must think that Mike Conley isn't playing again. So, without Conley, I'd make this 6 and 223. I have no choice but to lay it with the Jazz. But do I feel good about it? No. So, there you have it for the picks for today with the NBA. And now move on to Major League Baseball. We will go over the results from yesterday and look ahead to today. Rangers over the Giants 4-3-11 on a walk-off single by Brock Holt. Texas is 24-39, San Francisco 38-23. A's over the D-backs 4-0, A's 37-26, Arizona 20-43. So 19 straight road losses for the Diamondbacks. Sean Manaea the win, Matt Peacock the loss. Cubs over the Padres 2-1. The Cubs 35-27, Padres 37-27. Phillies over the Braves 2-1, Phillies 29-31. Atlanta 29-30. Dodgers over the Pirates 2-1. The Dodgers 36-25, Pittsburgh 23-37. Mets over the Orioles 14-1. Mets 30-24, Baltimore 22-39. Rockies over the Marlins 4-3. Rockies 25-37. Miami 26-35. Astros over the Red Sox 8-3. Astros 35-26. Boston 37-25. Reds over the Brewers 7-3. Reds 29-30. Milwaukee 34-27. Mariners over the Tigers 9-6-11. Mariners 31-32. Detroit 25-36. Nationals over the Rays 9-7 in 11 innings. Nats 25-33. Rays 39-24. Blue Jays over the White Sox 6-2. Blue Jays 31-28. Chicago 37-24. Yankees over the Twins 9-6. Yankees 33-29. Minnesota 24-37. Cardinals over the Indians 8-2. Cardinals 32-30. Cleveland 32-27. And the Angels over the Royals 6-1. So best bet was a loser. Angels 30-32. KC 29-31. All right, so we'll look ahead to today. 12:30, the Dodgers and the Pirates. Julio Urias and Mitch Keller. Dodgers minus 225. Pirates plus 188. Over under 8.5. Overs minus 102. Unders minus 120. Dodgers minus 1/2 is minus 137. Pirates plus 1/2 is plus 114. I'm going to go over 8.5. Mitch Keller has been one of the bigger busts in terms of young pitchers that are supposed to be good. Over 8.5 to play. Minus 102. Brewers Reds. Freddie Peralta and Luis Castillo. The Brewers are minus 120. The Reds are plus 102. Over under 8.5. Minus 110 each way. Brewers minus 1/2 is plus 134. Reds plus 1/2 is minus 162. I'm going to go under 8.5 and minus 110, but I don't feel good about it. 1 o'clock, the Braves and the Phillies. Ian Anderson and Zach Wheeler. Phillies are minus 142. The Braves are plus 120. Over under 7.5. Overs minus 118. Unders minus 104. Braves plus 1/2 is minus 184. Phillies minus 1/2 is plus 152. I'm going to go with the Braves as the dog at plus 120. Mariners Tigers. Justice Sheffield and Tyler Alexander. Seattle's minus 102. Detroit's minus 116. Over under 9. Minus 110 each way. Mariners minus 1/2 is plus 180. Tigers plus 1/2 is minus 220. I'm going over 9, minus 110. 7 o'clock, the Giants and the Nationals. Anthony DeSclafani and Max Scherzer. Nats are minus 162. Giants are plus 136. Over under 7. Overs minus 108. Unders minus 112. Giants plus 1/2 is minus 156. Nats minus 1/2 is plus 130. I'm going to go over 7, minus 108. Maybe a couple arms in the bullpen give up some runs, which causes for the game to go over. Rockies Marlins. Chichi Gonzalez and Trevor Rogers. Marlins minus 230. That's wild. Rockies plus 190. Over under 7. Minus 110 each way. Rockies plus 1/2 is minus 118. Marlins minus 1/2 is minus 102. I'm going over 7. I think the Marlins can do it by themselves. Astros Red Sox. Zach Greinke, Eduardo Rodriguez. Houston's minus 112. Red Sox minus 104. Over under 9. Overs minus 114. Unders minus 106. Astros minus 1/2 is plus 146. Red Sox plus 1/2 is minus 176. I'm going Astros minus 112. Blue Jays White Sox. Hyunjin Ryu and Dallas Keuchel. Blue Jays minus 118. White Sox even money. Over under 9. Overs minus 106. Unders minus 114. Blue Jays plus 1/2 or minus 1/2 is plus 138. White Sox plus 1/2 is minus 166. White Sox money lines to pick it even money. Yankees Twins. Michael King and Jay Happ. Yankees minus 148. Twins plus 126. Over under 10.5. Overs minus 120. Unders minus 102. Yankees minus 1/2 is plus 104. Twins plus 1/2 is minus 125. The Yankees have found a little bit of themselves back in the series so far. So I'm going to lay the 1.5 at plus 104. And 9:30, the Royals and the A's. You got Mike Minor and Frankie Montas. A's minus 162, Royals plus 136, over under 7.5. Overs minus 115, unders minus 105. Royals plus 1.5 is minus 154. Oakland minus 1.5 is plus 128. I'm going over 7.5 minus 115. That is ridiculously low total. All right, now we will do tennis. French Open. We will go over quarterfinal results from yesterday and look ahead to semifinal stuff for today. We'll start in the men's. Oh, men's, it's quarterfinals still. Or no, it is semifinal. coming up, but they don't play today. Quarterfinal results. 1-seeded Novak Djokovic over 9-seeded Matteo Berrettini in 4 sets. And 3-seeded Rafael Nadal over 10-seeded Diego Schwartzman in 4 sets. Women's from yesterday, quarterfinal. 17-seeded Maria Sakkari over 8-seeded Iga Swiatek in 2 sets. And Barbora Krejcikova over 24-seeded Coco Gauff in 2 sets. 9 o'clock this morning, semifinal. Anastasia Pavlyuchenkova and Tamara Zincik. I'm going to go with Pavlyuchenkova in 2 sets. She's just been really, really good. She's minus 164. Zincik is plus 140. Set betting 2-0. Pavlyuchenkova is plus 145. And the other one is Barbora Krejcikova against 17-seeded Maria Sakkari. I think we're in for some interesting Cinderellas here. Sakkari's minus 178. Krejcikova's plus 146. I'm going to go with Krejcikova in 3, plus 360. Do I feel good about it? No, but she feels like she's on a magical run. So I think we're going to have a final of Barbora Krejcikova and Alexandra Pavlyuchenkova, which would be really, really interesting for the women's side of things. And then obviously men's semifinals Friday, so we're going to go over that and make picks on tomorrow's podcast. All right, now we'll do WNBA. We will go over the games from last night, and we will look ahead to the games for tonight. Storm over the Dream 95-71. The Storm 8-2. Atlanta 4-5. Sky over the Fever 92-76. Chicago 3-7. Fever 1-10. All right. One game tonight, 7 o'clock. CBS Sports Network. The Sparks and the Mystics. The Sparks are 4-3. The Mystics are 3-5. The Mystics got to get going here. Tina Charles is playing well for them. Elena Deldon really has not been around. And if I'm not mistaken, I don't think she's playing. Let's see here. Sorry, guys. Elena Deldon. I don't think she opted out. Maybe she's currently injured. She has a back injury. I just forgot what was wrong with Elena Deldon. But I think Charles will lead them to a win tonight. So give me the Mystics at home against the Sparks. All right, now we'll do golf. We'll go over this weekend's tournament, and we will make a pick. And this one is the Palmetto Champs, which just is getting underway. Your early leader right now with the score of 2 under is Robert Garrigus. Tied for second with 1 under is Tommy Fleetwood, Bo Van Pelt, Cam Percy, and Chase Seifert. At even, Bo Hogg, Scott Brown, Doc Redman, Bio Hostler, Ryan Blom, where did we leave off? Bill Haas, DJ Tran, Jonathan Bird, Brian Stewart, Sanjay M, and Brant Snecker. In the tie for 17th with 1 over, Ricky Barnes, John Rollins and Patton Kazir. And tied for 20th with 2 over Jonas Blixt and Arjun Atwal. All right, notable tee times, 7:33 J.B. Holmes, Danny Lee, and Matt Laird. 7:44 J.T. Potts and Tyler Duncan, Dustin Johnson, Kevin Kisner. 7:55 Russell Knox, Pete Perez. 8:06 Richie Werenski, C.T. Pond. 8:17 Patrick Rogers, Scott Stallings. James Hahn. 8:28 Jonathan Vegas, 8:39. Matt Neesmith. And Will Gordon are in there. There's not a lot of super big names in this tournament. 12:15 Luke List, Tommy Lewis, Mark Hubbard, my bad. 12:26 Henrik Norlander, 12:37 J.J. Spawn, Adam Schenk, Rory Sabatini. 12:48 Tyrell Hatton, Matt Fitzpatrick, Ian Poulter. 12:59 Brooks Koepka. Lucas Glover, Adam Putnam, Kevin Mitchell. 110 Luke Donald. 121 Harold Varner. 132 Evan Van Rooyen. 143 Robbie Shelton. And that's it among notable tee times. The biggest name in this is Brooks Koepka. He's probably the favorite. I'd be surprised if he wasn't. And he's a co-8-1 favorite with Dustin Johnson. I feel like this is a good tournament for Brooks to win. So I'm going to go Brooks at 8-1 to win the Palmetto Championship as my pick. All right, now I'm going to do my 2020 NBA ReDraft. This was a tougher one to put together, to be honest, than I thought it would. So without further ado, my first 2020 NBA ReDraft. Number 1, Minnesota Timberwolves, LaMelo Ball. Obviously the best rookie in the league this year. Him and Karl Anthony Towns would have been really, really good together, I thought. Would think. Number 2, the Golden State Warriors, James Wiseman. So no do-over here. The Warriors take their guy and James Wiseman. 3, the Charlotte Hornets, Tyrese Halliburton. With Ball off the board, they go with Halliburton, which is a good consolation prize. 4, the Chicago Bulls, Anthony Edwards. Edwards was really, really good down the stretch. He would have been a nice fit on the Bulls. 5, the Cleveland Cavaliers, Desmond Bane. Someone that was really, really good for the Memphis Grizzlies down the stretch. 6, the Atlanta Hawks, Emmanuel Quickley. He would have addressed all their woes at the backup point guard position. He's better than Lou Williams at this point. 7, the Detroit Pistons, Sadiq Bey. So that's someone who they took later in the first round they take here. 8, the New York Knicks, Cole Anthony. Cole Anthony really had a good year at the Magic, showed some promise. 9, the Washington Wizards, Denny Avdija, so no do-over there. 10, the Phoenix Suns, Patrick Williams. This would have been a nice fit as like a stretch big in a way for this team. Number 11, the San Antonio Spurs, Isaac Okoro. To me, he's just a classic Spurs guy. Stick him in on the wing. They need help there. Number 12, the Sacramento Kings, Kira Lewis Jr. Not a bad consolation prize with Halliburton off the board. 13, the New Orleans Pelicans, Peyton Pritchard. Someone who really showed some promise for the Boston Celtics down the stretch. 14, the Boston Celtics, Kenyon Martin Jr. One of the more surprising rookies in the league this past season, coming off the bench. 15, the Orlando Magic, Precious Achiuwa. He would have been a nice building block for Orlando. 16, the Portland Trailblazers. Tyrese Maxey. Really good wing player for Philly coming off the bench. Number 17, the Minnesota Timberwolves. Xavier Tillman. So the Timberwolves get a big year. Tillman was a real surprise contributor for the Grizzlies this season at times. 18, the Dallas Mavericks. Isaiah Stewart. So they get a big to go with Kristaps Porzingis. 9, the Brooklyn Nets. Devin Vassell. He would have been a good guy to have off the bench. 20, the Miami Heat. Malachi Flynn. So maybe your future solution at the point guard position if you're Miami. 71, the Philadelphia 76ers. Jaden McDaniels. That wouldn't have been a bad pick with Maxey off the board. 22, the Denver Nuggets. Killian Hayes. Going with the upside play here with Hayes. 23, the New York Knicks. Obi Toppin. Toppin falls from 8th all the way down to the Knicks' second pick at 23. He just didn't get the playing time because of the breakout of Julius Randle. Number 24, the Milwaukee Bucks. Alexej Pokusevski. Pokusevski, I think, would have helped the Bucks off the bench as a good big. 25, the Oklahoma City Thunder. Onyeka Okongwu. He's been a big help for the Hawks throughout the playoffs and then was throughout the season. 26, the Boston Celtics. Theo Maledon. So they got a backup point guard with Pritchard off the board. 27, the Utah Jazz. Nico Mannion. He would have been a good energy guy for them off the bench. 28, the Los Angeles Lakers. Saben Lee. Not a bad pick for the Lakers. He was somebody that was a steal. Number 29, the Toronto Raptors. R.J. Hampton with Lee off the board. Oh no, Lee was a later pick. R.J. Hampton goes here. I think he would have been interesting on the Raptors. And 30, the Boston Celtics, Josh Green. Somebody that could come in and be a heat check guy off the bench. Alright, so that was my 2020 NBA redraft. And now I'm going to do my first 2021 NBA mock draft. Number 1, the Houston Rockets. Cade Cunningham, point guard, Oklahoma State. Although it's not a guarantee that the Rockets will be picking first overall, Cunningham would be the guy, though, if they were to. Cunningham's playmaking is something that should translate into the NBA, and he has that it factor that teams look for. 2, the Detroit Pistons. Evan Mobley, center, USC. Mobley was outstanding this past season for the Trojans, and had some folks talking about whether he should be considered to go first over Cunningham. The Pistons have needs everywhere on the roster, and Mobley has great size and is great around the rim as well. 3, the Orlando Magic. Jalen Suggs, point guard, Gonzaga. The Magic are headed for a full rebuild here, and they'd be lucky if they were to land in the top 3 in the lottery and really could use that. Suggs will forever be known for the big shot against UCLA, but outside of that, he's notorious for great decision-making and has great poise. 4, the Oklahoma City Thunder. Jalen Green, shooting guard, G League, USA. The Thunder are still in a long-term rebuild, and here I have them taking Green. But it already brings an interesting scenario in the play if this was the case, with them having Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Green is an elite scorer and has good playmaking abilities as well. 5, Cleveland Cavaliers. Jordan Kuminga, small forward, G League, Congo. The Cavaliers need help on the wing, and Kuminga would be a solid choice. Despite being oversized for a wing, he's somebody that put up solid numbers in the G League despite not having a great shot. 6, the Golden State Warriors from the Minnesota Timberwolves. Scotty Barnes, small forward, Florida State. Courtesy of the D'Angelo Russell trade, there's a good chance the Warriors end up with another lottery pick. Barnes is somebody that would be a good fit for the Warriors and has good defensive abilities, although he does not shoot the ball well. 7, the Toronto Raptors. Davion Mitchell, point guard, Baylor. The Raptors have not been in the lottery in 8 years, and I have them selecting Mitchell, the brother of Donovan Mitchell. Kyle Lowry made the part as a free agent, so it makes sense for them to go with a point guard who could be their point guard of the future, who is a great defender, passer, and could shoot open shots. 8, Orlando Magic from the Chicago Bulls. Isaiah Jackson, power forward, Kentucky. Courtesy of the Nikola Vucevic trade, the Magic get another pick in the lottery, and this one they go with Jackson. He's a great athlete with some abilities on the defensive side of the ball, and he and Jaylen Suggs would be a nice duo to come away if that was the case. 9, the Sacramento Kings. Moses Moody, shooting guard, Arkansas. This pick would be interesting due to the fact that the Kings already have a crowded backcourt to begin with. Moody's perimeter defense, as well as outstanding, his perimeter defense is outstanding and has a nice mid-range jumper. 10, the New Orleans Pelicans. Corey Kispert, shooting guard, Gonzaga. The Pelicans should look more at guard options than forward big options due to their current roster construction. Kispert is somebody that could develop into a solid 3-and-D wing that is something that the team lacks. 11, Charlotte Hornets. Kai Jones, power forward, center, Texas. The Hornets' biggest need lies in the middle, and they should prioritize the big men situation this offseason. Jones is somebody that is capable of elite shot blocking and could space the floor well, which fits what the Hornets are looking for. 12, the San Antonio Spurs. James Bouknight, shooting guard, Connecticut. Bouknight falling this far, some may consider a steal. Bouknight screams a classic Spurs guy who could score in a variety of ways and could end up adding more to his game as well, sans the team being loaded with guards. 13, the Indiana Pacers. Franz Wagner, small forward, Michigan. The Pacers have a lot of talent on their roster, and someone like Wagner would only make this team deeper. Wagner is another classic 3-and-D player and would give the Pacers another dimension with their second unit. 14, Golden State Warriors. Jaylen Johnson, small forward, Duke. Johnson is somebody that really didn't pan out as a player at Duke, although the case here is banking on potential. He's somebody that is a solid passer with a good frame. 15, the Washington Wizards. Josh Giddey, shooting guard, small forward, Australia. Giddey to me is somebody that's a huge wild card in this draft due to playing overseas. Giddey is a great playmaker, passer, and has excellent court vision, but his defense is not very good. 16, the Boston Celtics. Jaden Springer, point guard, Tennessee. The Celtics are a team that has not hit on draft picks recently outside of Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. Springer is an excellent shooter and is capable of being a starting point guard, and this pick would make sense if the team were to move on from Kemba Walker. 17, the Memphis Grizzlies. Jared Butler, point guard, Baylor. The Grizzlies go with Butler here to be their backup point guard and to give them Ja Morant insurance. Butler could shoot the ball very well and develop the passing game as well. 18, the Oklahoma City Thunder from the Miami Heat. Alperen Sengun, center, Besiktas. The Thunder lack young bigs with potential, and they get one here with Sengun. He provides a little bit of an old school game with double-double potential and also could protect the rim. 19, the New York Knicks. Usman Garuba, center, Real Madrid. This pick would make sense for the up-and-coming Knicks as they may have a need for a backup big depending on free agency. Garuba has a big wingspan and he excels defensively and provides a ton of energy. 20, the Atlanta Hawks. Chris Durant, shooting guard, small forward, Oregon. This would be the classic Hawks pick, a 3-and-D player that is versatile, and if he were younger, he'd be picked sooner. Durant can score at all three levels and can defend multiple positions as well. 21, the New York Knicks from the Dallas Mavericks. Trey Mann, point guard, Florida. Courtesy of the Kristaps Porzingis trade, the Knicks have an extra first-round pick. Mann would be an interesting pick here, and he can play both on and off the ball and can shoot it from three. 22, the Los Angeles Lakers. Zaire Williams, small forward, Stanford. The Lakers are a team that you can make a case has to nail this selection. Williams is somebody that really didn't live up to hype in college, but has defensive upside and is a solid athlete. Fun fact, Williams also played with LeBron's son, Bronny. So look at that as a possible subplot. 23, the Houston Rockets from the Portland Trailblazers. Josh Christopher, shooting guard, Arizona State. The Rockets have a second first-rounder courtesy of the Robert Covington trade. Christopher had a great freshman season on the underachieving Sun Devils and showed an ability to get to the basket a lot. 24, the Houston Rockets from the Milwaukee Bucks. Greg Brown, power forward, Texas. The Rockets, with their third first-rounder, go with an upside play with Brown. He wasn't considered with the Longhorns, or wasn't consistent with the Longhorns, but is long and athletic and could learn a lot from current Rocket Christian Wood. 25, the Los Angeles Clippers. Johnny Juzang, shooting guard, UCLA. Juzang gets to stay home as he goes to the Clippers in my first mock. Juzang helped the Bruins in their surprising Final Four run a season ago and has shown ability as well as length on defense. 26, the Denver Nuggets. Cameron Thomas, shooting guard, LSU. The Nuggets need guard depth with Jamal Murray slated to miss the start of next season as he recovers from the torn ACL. Thomas is a basket maker despite being raw in terms of his outside shot. 27, the Brooklyn Nets. Ayo Dosunmu, shooting guard, Illinois. This would be a fabulous selection for the contending Nets, who can use some depth on their bench. Dosunmu facilitated in all ways of the game and would be a solid backup for Kyrie Irving. 28, the Philadelphia 76ers. Sharif Cooper, point guard, Auburn. Cooper is a really good player, but I'm not sure if the 76ers are the team for him due to them being somewhat guard-heavy from a bench standpoint. Cooper is outstanding at creating shots, not just for himself, but his teammates. 29, the Phoenix Suns. Joel Ayayi, shooting guard, Gonzaga. The Suns are pretty much deep all over their roster, so at this point, they just have to get a good depth piece. Ayayi was an unsung hero on Gonzaga's near-perfect season run and has good length and shooting ability. And 30, the Utah Jazz. Charles Bassey, center, Western Kentucky. Bassey is somebody that was not always given the attention due to where he played and the fact that he missed his sophomore season due to injury before dominating as a junior. He is an outstanding defender in the middle and does a lot to impact the game. So there you have it for my first NBA mock draft of the year. And now I'm going to go over the latest news and notes. Mike Malone was not happy, but spoke the truth. Got our asses kicked. I saw one team that wanted to be here and the one team that did not want to be here. Yikes. You would hope that the Denver players would respond. Nikola Jokic rocked MVP t-shirt as his warm-up tee calls out his doubters and was embracing his inner self. Joke's on you, it says. That's funny. Charles Barkley, terrified of a snake, probably regretted hitting the guarantee button for Nuggets +6 when they brought a real snake out. That was really, really funny. I saw that on TNT last night. The Utah Jazz surprised Rudy Gobert with the Defensive Player of the Year trophy as Utah caught their big man off guard to present him with his third Defensive Player of the Year trophy. Jordan Clarkson helping local businesses as he helped give a Filipino food truck in Utah a new paint job after it was vandalized with anti-Asian graffiti. So that's really nice of Jordan Clarkson. LeBron James will change his jersey number next year as he will go back to number 6 with the change expected to come after Space Jam. Pat Riley fined for tampering for making comments about LeBron during a radio interview last week. Tuukka Rask may need surgery, as Bruce Cassidy hints that his goalie was hurt. There may be surgery, there may not. That'll be his decision. A walk-off robbery as the Mariners left fielder Jake Fraley had the announcer going nuts after bringing back a potential Tigers walk-off home run. And speaking of walk-off home runs, Philadelphia's Luke Williams ripped a walk-off homer in the first MLB start of his career, so that was really cool. A mom catches a ball with the baby in her arms, making the full extension grab in the stands while holding the baby, which was really, really interesting and fun. Peter Alonso calls out Major League Baseball because of the foreign substances. He says MLB manipulates baseballs year in and year out depending on the free agency class. Interesting. I wonder if he was taking a shot at Garrett Cole there, like Josh Donaldson did. The New Orleans Saints congratulate the Islanders after Bruce Cassidy called the Islanders the New York Saints, and the Saints got in on the W. Islanders owner John Ledecky celebrates with the fans after taking down the Bruins in Game 6. That was pretty cool to see. ESPN's hiring PK Subban as an analyst as he has to cover the remainder of the Stanley Cup playoffs as he started last night. Mark Shefley calls out the NHL. I thought I was going to be shut down by Denault. Instead, I was the depth of player safety. Ouch. Dak Prescott signs with Jordan as the Cowboys quarterback is leaving Adidas to sign a 5-year deal as the only Jordan brand quarterback. We talked about Rudy Gobert winning the Defensive Player of the Year. The Indiana Pacers have fired Nate Bjorkgren. That was expected. They're eyeing Terry Stotts. And also, Brad Stevens is beginning the Celtics head coaching search as he'll speak to Chauncey Billups and Jamal Mosley, among others. And Bjorkgren, I'm not surprised he was fired. That team badly underachieved this season. They're probably regretting firing Nate McMillan in the first place as he has the Hawks in a 1-1 series tie with the Sixers. Amari Cooper might be limited at camp as he has ankle irritation and might not be ready for training camp. Calvin Ridley had foot surgery, and it was minor, but should be fine for training camp. Saquon misses being out there as he says the hardest part of rehab is not being able to go out there and be a kid again on the field. The Giants and the Browns joint practices as Kevin Stefanski says his team will have 2 joint practices with the Giants ahead of their preseason game. So that's cool. Will Barton will be back, or was back last night for Denver. Missed that completely. DeAndre Hunter out for the season with torn meniscus. That's a big loss for the Hawks, as he was really, really good for them at times this season. James Harden out Game 3, but we knew that already. And last, we have the Norris finalists revealed. Adam Fox, Victor Hedman, and Cale Makar. I think that Adam Fox deserves it the most. I'm going to say he wins it. Do I feel good about it? No, I won't be shocked if they go with Hedman because he's Victor Hedman. He had a fabulous year, as did Cale Makar. But I'm going to say it's going to be Adam Fox. And I got him at plus 340 for the award months ago. Alrighty. Best bet of the day. Brought to you by FanDuel. there's some interesting picks that are to be had. But there's a total that was so low that I have to take the over. And that is the 7.5 between the Royals and the A's. Got to go with another Royals total. So we go lay a half unit on over 7.5, minus 115 between the Royals and the Angels. All right, so that's it for the show. I'll have a bigger show tomorrow with everything from yesterday. Look ahead to tomorrow and the weekend. We'll have NASCAR for you. NHL redraft from 2020 and the mock draft for 2021 will be going on as well. So I hope you guys have a great day, everybody.